The words "beauty lies in the eye of the beholder" has never meant so much in the life of one man. This is the story of Godfrey Baguma, who happens to be the world's ugliest man and has continued to live a life that has inspired many today, despite his physical looks and the circumstances within which he grew up. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now back to the story. The name Godfrey Baguma is not an entirely new name in the streets of Uganda. It is either he is recognized for his looks or his music exploits, which he took advantage of when he first became popular. For many, coming out with a deformity and even making the most out of it would not be an option to consider at all either, because they'd be made fun of, or they won't just be able to garner as much attention as they would be willing to get. But this is not the story of Godfrey Baguma, who, even after developing a rare disorder that severely disfigured his face, managed to make the most out of his situation and still thrive when many would have quit. Baguma, who is also known by his stage name, Sasabi, hails from Kianzana and started his career as a professional cobbler. One interesting thing, though, from his early life is that he was actually never born ugly or with a huge deformity to his head and face. But he started developing a rare medical condition, and when he was only 10 years old, he had weird swellings around his face, which ultimately resulted in how he currently looks. Due to this, he was not able to mingle with his peers and even go out as much as he would have wanted. He even had to deal with his mother abandoning him for being what she called an abnormal child when he was young, and he had to stay with his grandmother, who cared for him ever since. In an interview once, Baguma said, "When I was born, my mother looked at me and said that I was not a normal child, and she left me. Thankfully, my grandmother took care of me. I was scared to go out and mix with people. People would say I wasn't a human being, that I looked like a strange creature, but now I have to accept how I look." As a child, being isolated was not something Baguma enjoyed at all, but he still managed to do well for himself and become a professional cobbler. It was at this workplace one day that he was approached by some people, who he said claimed to be from the entertainment industry and wanted him to contest in a competition to figure out Uganda's ugliest person. They took pictures of him in different poses and convinced him to participate because they believed he would win. He took their advice, and behold, he did win and became the ugliest man in Uganda, a title that not only propelled him to the kind of career he now has, but also birthed his stage name, Sasebi, which he earned from the competition. From being a cobbler, Baguma immediately rose to stardom after the contest and took full advantage of his new status. And what he had been isolated and mistreated for now happens to be the same thing that has helped him make a huge turnaround in his career and his life. Baguma went on the rise and would go on to perform at several events at the ugliest man in Uganda. He also took to comedy, which also worked for him, and began his rise to stardom in the creative industry. Baguma would then discover his singing talents and start a career for himself in the pop music category in the music industry, a move that can be recognized as his major breakout in the industry. Ever since, Baguma has been known widely in Uganda for his music and has even enjoyed massive success in his newly found career. He has amassed a large following and even has several million views on YouTube for his different music videos. Baguma, or Sasabi as he's called, can be found on YouTube with one of his songs particularly garnering several million views. Going further to show how successful the singer has become even despite once being called a strange creature. Many would have thought that with the status of being the ugliest man in Uganda, Baguma would never have a wife, not to mention kids. But as fate would have it, the comedian and singer has found love 3 times and has also been blessed with 8 children in total. The singer first got married to his first wife early on in his career, and she gave birth to 2 children for him, though the couple eventually split when his wife was caught cheating on him with another man. This then led to Baguma getting married in 2013 to his second wife, Kate Namanda, who is the love of his life. His marriage to Kate was quite fruitful, as the couple are blessed with 6 children, taking his total number of children to 8. His wife Kate is known to be a stern supporter of her husband and has even said on a number of occasions that even though her husband was not handsome, she was sure he had a good heart. The celebration of marriage would not end there for Baguma, as photos of him getting married again to a 3rd wife in 2020 surfaced. From those pictures, the couple looked really happy tying the knot. However, some sources claimed it was not a real wedding and was only a part that was a shot from a music video for one of his hit songs and nothing more. It is still not clear as to whether Baguma really got married again, with multiple news websites even globally carrying the news about his marriage to a 3rd wife. Scared that his medical condition or physical looks would be passed down to his children, Baguma decided to get professional help to get his answers. He took various tests at a hospital in western Uganda, where he would then be able to know his diagnosis. It was discovered that Baguma had a rare medical condition called fibrodysplasia, and the condition affects the growth and placement of cells and tissues in the human body system. His children, however, will not have it passed down to them, and they can get to live without any fear of deformity. For someone who was with a disfigured head right from a young age, and then having to deal with his mother abandoning him for his grandmother to take care of him, and also working as a cobbler, Godfrey Baguma has surely done well for himself, and even though he might not be the richest man in Uganda, he is surely living well with his family and making enough to still keep him in the limelight. Baguma has continued to make money from his different sources of income, including performing at concerts, events, and even releasing more music, which has continued to gain more prominence in Uganda. His net worth is not available online, but he is surely making enough and doing well, and with the kind of numbers he's amassing for his music, particularly on YouTube, it can be said that Baguma does have his finances better than he would have imagined when he was much younger. Though it is surely not a title he would have enjoyed, especially at the time when he was awarded. But the Ugliest Man title has served as the best PR for Baguma and his career. Baguma is now known around the world as the world's ugliest man, holding the Guinness World Record in that category for his disproportionate face. In one of his exclusive interviews, when he was asked about his looks, Baguma simply said he has now come to terms with his looks, as it was something he could not change about himself. And judging by the popularity he now has in several places around the world, and not only in Uganda, his ugly status has proved to not be a problem for him, but rather a blessing he's definitely thankful for. He also continues to appreciate his grandmother who took care of him and strived to get the best for him after his mother left him from a young age, and even despite all the negative remarks he had as a child. Currently 48 years of age, Baguma's story is surely an inspiration, especially for those with any form of deformity and are scared of coming to terms with it, or are even scared they might not fit in. Baguma has shown that not only can they fit in, but they can also be successful by using their talents to help them thrive. For Baguma, his singing and comedic capabilities are part of what has made him who he is today. His story is similar to some other people's stories of people who have been successful, even with deformities, though his own seems to be like top of the pack, especially with how disadvantaged his situation could have been if he had not taken advantage of the situation and contested in the Ugliest Man competition, which drove him straight to popularity. Like Baguma, the likes of Stephen Hawking and Stevie Wonder, who are even more popular, have shown that even with deformities or disabilities, it is still possible to achieve something great. Stephen Hawking was confined to a wheelchair after he was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, when he was 21 and could only speak with the aid of a computer for most part of his life. But that didn't stop him from being one of the leading physicists that has ever lived. For Stevie Wonder, he was born blind but still managed to have an astounding singing career. Even though all three stories are not related, or more like Baguma's case, one thing still certain is that they were all able to become popular and use their talents quite well despite their conditions. If you enjoyed the video, kindly give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comments section, and share with others. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.